Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Arsenal versus Chelsea. London derby. Mikel Arteta's first game as Arsenal manager versus Frank Lampard, the man that can't win at home but wins London derbies away. We're talking about that game against Spurs again, aren't we? But this one, it's actually a bigger match than the Spurs game now. I know I say this every flipping video that we do a match preview on. This is the biggest game of the season. If you look at the context of the Premier League table right now, you look at Wolves and their current form, the way they're coming back into things. You look at Spurs, yeah, we beat them, but then we lost to Southampton and they beat Brighton, so it kind of nullifies that point difference that we managed to build. You look at Manchester United, they're coming into some good form as well. Leicester, they're doing all right still, despite losing a couple of their last games. Man City, they're pretty much guaranteed a top 4 spot. Liverpool, give them the trophy now. Boring, don't want to talk about it anymore. I've had enough of it. And then you got Sheffield United as well, who are still doing well, but I think realistically, not disrespecting Sheffield United at all, but if we're talking about a Champions League spot, they would bite your hand off for a Europa League place at the end of the season. So everyone is kind of turning right now. The cogs are turning at Spurs. Arsenal, good performance away at Bournemouth, even though the result wasn't there. Mikel Arteta's first game. The crowd are going to be excited for this one. It's his first game at home. Tilda's here building a puzzle. Say hello, Tilda. Hello. Give us your prediction before I start building the team.
My prediction on the Arsenal game? So, my predictions, Arsenal versus Chelsea, will be 3-1 Arsenal, 2-0 Arsenal.
So you don't think Chelsea are going to score at all?
Oh, you make it hard for me. 3-1. Either way, 2-1 Chelsea.
Fine, well we've had pretty much every scoreline under the sun from Tilda. Thank you for that though. Who's going to score? Just give me 2 names.
Is William playing?
Probably.
William?
Yeah.
Probably. He's a good lad. Pulisic?
Yeah, alright, cool, we'll take it. People have asked where Tilda's been. She's not been in a video for like 2 weeks, but she's here now. We've had Christmas together. We're back in London.
Bye!
So in a nutshell, this is a game that Chelsea need to win. We can't even let Arsenal get back into things to start adding another team into the mixer of teams that are chasing us down right now. I think Wolves are one of the biggest concerns because they don't lose matches. They came from 2-0 down against the champions. Nuno Espirito Santo, who almost took over at Arsenal, supposedly, is the only manager to do the double against Pep Guardiola, apart from Chelsea's very own Antonio Conte. So this game against Arsenal for Chelsea, yes, it's, you could say, a must not lose game because we don't want Arsenal to draw ground on Chelsea. But in terms of making a statement again, and I do think it's possible because Chelsea's away form has been so much better than we've been at home. Away from home, we seem to play with more freedom. We get more space on the pitch. When we go to other teams and their grounds, we don't just see 10 defenders trying to sit back in 2 blocks of 4, defending, and then getting Chelsea on the counter-attack because every team knows that Chelsea are vulnerable in defensive positions. So Arsenal, they're not going to be allowed to play at the Emirates and try and sit back and let Chelsea come at them. It's not going to happen. Arsenal are going to try and attack, and that means that Chelsea are going to be able to exploit in between the lines, either with short passing around the Arsenal defence, which is shaky in itself, or with some long balls from Kepa up to Tammy Abraham. It's something we saw a lot more often in the game against Spurs, and if you guys have been watching this channel for this entire season, you will know that one of my pet peeves with this current Chelsea team is the Kepa to Zuma, Kepa to Tomori, predictable back passing when it comes to Kepa having the ball either as a goal kick or with the ball in his hands. So using that long ball option to Tammy Abraham, if he can hold it up, you've got the likes of Mason Mount who can feed off of him in order to pick up the scraps and get Chelsea going forward on the attack. So without any further ado, let's build my team. So I mentioned in the 6 Things We Learnt video against Southampton, 3-4-3 at home doesn't work. It's not the best idea. However, we saw it employed so successfully in that game against Spurs, and I want to see something similar. The bad news is that Reece James isn't looking likely to be fit and ready for this game away at Arsenal. It's not what we wanted to see. It's not what we want to hear. I think that we saw Azpilicueta's crossing against Southampton. It wasn't good enough. We need Reece James to go forward. Also, he's got that strength as well, and I do see that, you know, the likes of Aubameyang, maybe Nicola Pepe, if he starts. Pace. going to be issues for Chelsea, particularly on Azpilicueta's side. But Azpilicueta plays in the right wing-back position with Marcus Alonso on the left. I think in terms of the way he stretched the game against Spurs, he was so useful. And something we often see with Emerson is he comes inside too early. When it comes to creating himself an opportunity for the pass, he's always too far central, whereas Alonso was hugging that touchline by about 1 or 2 metres for the entirety of the game, which meant that Chelsea always had an option to offload on the left-hand side. So Kepa in goal, Alonso, and then we've got Azpilicueta on the right because Reece James isn't fit. Moving into the centre-back three, Rudiger. A chance for him to really show those leadership qualities that we need from our centre-back in this game alongside Kurt Zouma and Fikayo Tomori. I gave him the only green box. If you haven't seen, earlier on today I uploaded the 6 things we learned from Chelsea 0 Southampton 2. I gave a green box to Fikayo Tomori. He's going to start on the left centre-back position. That is the back 6, meaning we've got 5 players for Chelsea to go forward with. In the middle, it's got to be Mateo Kovacic. He's back in the team. He served his suspension in the game against Southampton. He's back alongside N'Golo Kante. I do want to see the 2 in the middle of Kovacic and Jorginho again, because I did say earlier that Kante's not been in the best form. But for this kind of game, a 3 at the back, a 4, and then a 3, you've only got space for 2 players in the middle, and I would say it would be Kovacic and N'Golo Kante, the same as we saw in the game against Spurs. So that moves us into the forward 3. Now it's got to be Tammy Abraham as the starting striker. The 2 wingers, there's 4 options here. You've got Mason Mount, you've got Pulisic, you've got Hudson-Odoi, and you've also got Willian. I would go with exactly the same setup as what we saw against Spurs. Willian on the right, Mason Mount on the left, with both players coming in centrally when Tammy Abraham needs to offload the ball from a long Kepa pass. I honestly think there's not an abundance of brilliance within this Arsenal team, particularly in the midfield and from a defensive line. I think Leno, everyone tries to compare Leno to like all the other top goalkeepers. He's actually been quite good in recent games for Arsenal. So, you know, we're not going to talk too much trash about Arsenal just yet. If you want to watch tomorrow, I'm going to be on the kickoff on True Geordie's kickoff channel tomorrow. So if you want to see me going in on some of the Arsenal players, Hugh Wizzy's going to be there as well. So we could have a little bit of banter there. Be sure to come and support your boy on the kickoff tomorrow. Mason Mount and Willian. I honestly think that going with this same team away from home that worked so successfully without any faults whatsoever against Spurs, I think Chelsea can go to Arsenal and get the win. It's another London derby. It is, yeah, maybe it's not as spicy as Tottenham versus Chelsea is at the moment, but Arsenal, Mikel Arteta is the manager. Another new era, like they keep hitting the reset button after Wenger. Arsenal will be a strong side again. They will be coming up again as it gets towards the end of the season. Yes, they've not had a good start. Yes, they sacked Unai Emery, but I think they're probably going to spend a bit of money in January, get themselves some reinforcements, and yet again, this is an opportunity for Chelsea to make some ground on their competition. We've got to go to Arsenal. We can't lose. If we do lose, we could be as low as flipping 7th, which could be an absolute disaster. We've got to go there and try and win. We've been so confident away from home so far this season. It's a London derby. The Emirates, it's normally like a library. Let's shut them up and only hear those blue voices tomorrow. It's exactly as it was against Spurs. We cannot lose, and a win, yet again, cements our place in the top 4, and it's another tough away fixture that we can tick off the list going towards the end of the season. We've got a huge couple of months ahead of us now. I want to keep things as positive as possible on this channel. I also want to keep it as realistic as possible. Tomorrow's not going to be easy. Arteta's first game, Arsenal manager, they're going to have the bit between their teeth. The fans are going to get excited, but this is a chance for Frank Lampard's Chelsea yet again to turn up and win when the odds may well be starting to stack against us. So let's talk about Arsenal for a little while. Someone that I think has had a good season, Matteo Guendouzi in the middle. I think tomorrow this is the perfect chance yet again for Mateo Kovacic to show why he is moving into that bracket of elite midfielders currently in world football. He's had an unbelievable season for Chelsea. Guendouzi, everyone looks at Guendouzi as like the next big thing in Arsenal's midfield. Mateo Kovacic tomorrow is going to go to the Emirates and he's going to school him. I know I've just made a statement of intent from a Chelsea perspective there, but I genuinely feel as though with Kovacic missing in the last game, we saw how much we missed him in the middle. I think he's going to have Guendouzi's number tomorrow. I think he's going to have a huge say in whether or not Chelsea go on and win this game. We also cannot forget the man who appeared on the channel in the summer and then went off to Arsenal after saying how much he loved Chelsea. David Luiz will be playing tomorrow for Arsenal against Chelsea. He's going to have a point to prove. He's going to be out there trying his best, as he always does, but when David Luiz tries that little bit harder, he's also very susceptible to an individual error, which could be a calamitous moment in his Arsenal career against his former club Chelsea. There are lots of little subplots brewing in this one. You got Mikel Arteta's first home game, Frank Lampard against the Big Six again. Can he just completely put those rumours to bed that we just can't beat the top 6 teams? We won at Spurs, you win at Arsenal, that conversation disappears. The only conversation that will be rearing its head then is this home form curse, which is a bit of a problem, but luckily we play away from home again in a couple of days' time against Brighton. So even though that is the team that you guys can see on the screen now that I think is going to play tomorrow for Chelsea against Arsenal, there will also be a thought about the game against Brighton. We'll probably see some early substitutions. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. It's a massive, massive game this for Chelsea. I know I say this in every preview. Arsenal away, it is of the same stature as Spurs away. It might not have the same toxic hatred as the Spurs one does. For a lot of people, it does have that same hatred. For me, it's still Arsenal. It's a massive game. London derby. Spurs is... I dislike Spurs more than I dislike Arsenal. But at the same time, a win tomorrow would just be an absolutely brilliant end to what's been yet another great year for Chelsea. 2019, back in the Champions League. Europa League winners. Something that Arsenal can't really say themselves, can they, after that wonderful trip to Baku in late May. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this match preview. Let me know your thoughts on my team selection in the comments down below, and if you would change anything, let me know why and what it is you would change in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the George Benson Football channel if you're new around here. There will be a new video out tomorrow night after the Arsenal game, and as I said earlier in this video, I'll be on the kickoff tomorrow, so if you want to come and watch me, it's True Geordie's show, kickoff channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description so that you guys don't miss it. Talking about the game, reacting to the game, and I will catch you all there. See you later. Bye-bye.